Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comics Discourse 114. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Newberry,
I'm Brian Clark.
And I'm Hassan.
and tonight we are taking you to the year 2099 in the world of tomorrow with Marvel Comics. We're going to talk about several of the number ones from that line that came out in like 92, 93 era. Um, we're specifically definitely talking about Spider-Man, probably Doom, X-Men, and we'll sidetrack on some of the other books that came out because the line was fairly extensive, although I'm gonna be a little catty. The quality was all over the place.
What?
Definitely,
What are you talking about?
definitely 90s
Ravager.
era books.
Ravager was the best. The best.
Ravager, Hulk, love it. But there was some good shit in there too. But before we do that, guys, we have not talked about what either any of us have been reading new in a little while. Uh, at least that's what I'm feeling. Brian, you been reading anything that you've been jiving on lately? I know
Uh,
you've been not reading some new stuff. You've been reading some cool old stuff. So I'll let you.
well, I've been reading all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've read all the X-Men, the current X-Men, X-Force. I read all of that.
that's stuff to read. Yes.
Um, yeah, I even read The Fall House of X and Rise of Powers of 10. I read all of that. Um, Other stuff, I wrapped up Tin Can Society, or I am current on Tin Can Society. I think there's,
Let's say I've been saving it because I know there's like one or two issues. Oh, there's two issues left.
yeah.
How's that? I heard, like, is it still as good? I mean, because you talked about how much you liked it at the beginning.
Yeah, I think when it's all done, it'll be a good story. It feels like it fits into like the Mark Millar world kind of. So if you like that stuff, there's like twist. There's an interesting twist in the latest issue that I thought was cool. I read the. I think we all read the Avengers: The Veracity Trap.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about that in detail in a week or two. So
Okay.
park that one for now.
Um, Hassan talked a lot about the Cheetah and Cheshire book that just came out. Um,
We're
what is
talking
this?
about that one the same week we talk
Uh,
about veracity traps. So save
Man,
that
look
shit
at
too.
that. Saving all of this. And I think that's kind of it.
It is
Uh,
not kind of it, my dude.
what did I forget? Oh, yes. So I read Excalibur.
Oh,
I was
Excalibur.
just like, are you just fucking with me here? Are you doing
I
this on purpose?
Have
yeah,
you ever
so
read Excalibur?
I've never read like any Excalibur, anything.
Really?
So I asked Brian, I said, give me a non-Claremont like X book to read.
Well, he said X-Men, and I was
Yeah.
just like, well, I'm there.
And you recommended two that I have read. Like, I mean, I love Morrison's X-Men. I have
Yeah.
read that, and I actually own the omnibus of that. But you recommended some Alan Davis Excalibur number 42, I believe.
I think that's where he starts and ends right, like in I can't remember where it ends. He
Yeah,
goes for a while.
He
but I read
ends
up.
up. It ends abruptly though. Like I felt like he leaves the book. He's not
He
really
does.
finished. Yeah.
He leaves right before I think it's the Fatal Attraction, where Excalibur folds into the main X-Men line.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
leaves like the issue before,
I
or
really
issue
liked it.
before
I
that.
did really did like his run.
I read up through 46. So what did I find out? This is like, so they were talking about, like, I don't know hardly anything about Captain Britain. And he's interesting. And the like Captain Britain World or whatever, Britain, what is that group called? There's like a
Captain
bunch of
Britain
them.
Corps.
Britain Corps, yeah. And they're like, oh, this is Captain Britain of 616. So I was like, oh, I don't really know the origin of 616. So I looked that up, and it is from the Alan Moore, Alan Davis UK version. And the character that said it, I think her name is Saturnine. I don't know.
Saturnine. Yep.
Yes.
She's the one that first said 616. So that was cool to get like some Marvel. some real Marvel lore there, and see a character, read a character that I've known about for a long time. Um, Also, I mean, Rachel Summers is a character I don't know a whole lot about.
She was the X-Men mainstay for a couple years, and then they moved her over to Excalibur, where she got to shine. And then we don't see much of her. I mean, she's
Yeah,
in the Krakoa stuff, but she's a lot different than she was back then.
yeah, because she's confusing.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, definitely. 1000%
yeah,
confusing.
Wait, as opposed to any other time to place
yeah, but I
character
mean, like, if you
X Men.
don't
Silver's kid.
like, as a person who hasn't read much of her, and you're just like, I don't understand. Like I guess Cable would be just as confusing to people, but I've read a lot of Cable stuff.
And Cable's got big fucking guns.
Yeah, he's not like he's not like his parents at all.
I think Rachel fits well in Excalibur. Like you don't really have to understand her background because Scott and Jean and all that they're not in the Excalibur. So like yeah, you kind of it's always in the background. But I felt like with Excalibur, they were able to portray her without all the baggage. At least the stuff I read, I would say. I didn't read a lot of Excalibur. I read the Claremont original run, and then he abruptly leaves because there was that long ass story. What's it called on the time?
Cross time caper.
Yeah, but he left before it was over, and then it was like I was just saying,
It
it's
was
just
a
like
hodgepodge of shit in between Claremont leaving and then Alan Davis coming back on to write it.
yes, and draw it, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And then he left, and I dropped the book.
No, I have read it all. Um, Brian, you should read the Alan Moore, Alan Davis, Captain Britain stuff. I think you would like it. It's very compact, like a 2000 AD.
Yeah.
A lot of 8 issue things that are just chock full of stuff happening and tons on the page, but it's a lot of action and it's just over the top and crazy. But I think it's some of my favorite Alan Moore stuff.
Yeah, I'd be down to check that out. Like I for some reason I've just been on a Marvel kick and just was like I'll read a bunch of stuff I haven't read before.
What'd you think of the Galactus issue?
I mean, the art in that issue, so that is what, number 62, something like that. Um, that art is awesome. It is very interesting to see, like Phoenix, or Rachel as Phoenix and Galactus just having like a battle and a conversation, like a deep conversation at the same time.
They
And he,
destroy a fucking world while she's trying to
yeah,
save the world and inadvertently just destroys it fighting him and doesn't even realize what she's doing.
yeah, he's like, well, see, what's worse, me or you?
Yeah. The full page spreads on it though are just where they're fighting are gorgeous. I love his version of the Phoenix.
Yeah, and when you said that's like one of your favorite Galactus stories, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy number 25, which is like a chromium cover double price. I bought that off the stands and I was like, this cover is so awesome. So I read Guardians of the Galaxy 24, 25. God, that stuff is weird. Silver Surfer is like rocking the quantum bands and the cape and
Yep. That is a cool run though.
And then I'll give you a preview of the next old Marvel thing that I'm gonna read. That is Iron Man Armor Wars.
Oh, you know what? That might fit in with something that I would like to talk about. But I love that run.
I definitely, so a little bit of context. I broke out all my Marvel series 1 through 4 trading cards from the early 90s, and they have like famous battles is in there. They got a lot of weird stuff. Aunt May has a card in the first series, and that's kind
That's
of
a
weird.
collectible. That's
Yeah,
a huge collect. The Aunt May card. Everyone wanted the Aunt May card.
they have uh they have the famous battles and the Armor Wars card. I've seen it for a good chunk of my life. Never read it, and this is the beauty of the Marvel app, I could just go read it. So I'm going to. And I read the first issue, and it's Tony Stark, man. That's the look you got going there.
Oh yes,
Every,
yes. The
I,
mullet and the mustache.
Yeah, and just he has a oh God, what his shirt said. He had a ridiculous shirt on that was like a tank top midriff.
Yes.
That's oh, it says Forbes 500. Like that would even exist. And then the technology is super funny because like at the time it sounded amazing. Like he's like, this sensor in my shoe let me know how far I ran and tracked my heart rate. And he has like his secretary reading headlines to him in a basically a Bluetooth, like a like an older Bluetooth. Everything he's saying sounds like antiquated now. And you're like, yeah, everybody on Earth basically has access to all of this. So calm down, buddy.
I remember when I tried to get my kids to watch Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, and they go, Dad, if this is in the future, why does everything look so old? Look at those
Yeah,
monitors. They're so thick. Those are so
fair.
big.
Super fair.
retro futurism.
I know.
Getting a whole thing of it with Aliens Earth right now.
My
Yes.
my whole office is going to be retro futuristic.
I have never read Armor Wars either. So.
Really? Wow. That sounds.
Why I don't read Iron Man is not in my. I don't think I've read much of a run of Iron Man ever.
I
I,
have
re-
not either, to be honest.
I read a lot of the 80s Iron Man stuff. So we should talk about it.
Hassan enjoying a billionaire with a fancy suit fighting crime. Who would have ever fucking thought?
No, no, I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I'm hot and cold on Iron Man, but I do think the outfit looks cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the original outfit, not the what he has on now. That this it's not.
He's got like this Centurion one in,
Oh,
It's
that
a
was
Centurion
yes,
armor, yeah.
yeah.
and
No,
this
that
is
was that's a cool looking one.
yeah, it's cool. And this is the first. So this is Iron Man 219, and it is the first appearance of the Ghost, who is the character from Thunderbolts movie, but it
Although
is
different.
way different.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh,
But
I like the stealth armor too, that cobalt blue
Oh yeah,
armor.
that's awesome
yeah,
too.
agreed.
But, all right, Hassan, what you been reading?
So I read a new book going back to this decade, Superman: The Kryptonite Spectrum by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin uh, Morzaro. Number one, I really love this issue. I don't know. You read this, Brian? Right?
I did, Brian. Have you read it yet?
I have not.
It
Dude, the
felt
art looks like freaking. It's right in the Frank Quitely school.
it does. It felt like it gave me a Silver Ace in a mix of All Star Squadron, which is really a Silver Age Superman story. So we like it. This is a Black Label book. The premise is that Superman and his robots discover four new kryptonites: Purple, Cobalt, speaking of Cobalt, Spectre, and Rainbow K. And what's funny is Clark calls Bruce and tells him about it, but he doesn't listen to Bruce's advice. Bruce is like, you need to destroy them because all the pieces are very deadly to him. And he's like, no, they're part of my home. I can't destroy them. And what if an enemy gets on them? So he wants to know how to handle them. So he exposed himself to eat. And so in this one, he exposed himself to Purple, which alters his mind. And I like how they drew, like how they dealt with it, and both with the like how the storytelling dealt with it, because he's able to see the future, but you don't really realize that until like halfway through the book, where things are like being said now, but it came from the future. He has fast forwards, I guess they call it. But I really enjoy it. It's the same creative team um, that does the Ice Cream Man. I don't think I ever talk about it, but I also read Art Brut, which is fantastic. And I don't know, have you guys heard of Swan Song? I don't know, have you ever guys ever talked about that?
No, never. Never talked about it ever.
Yeah. Inside joke where these guys talked about it and I totally forgot about it. Someone, one of my friends mentioned it, and I go, I need to check that out. but that was like 2 years ago when we talked. You guys talked about it a year ago. Um, but I just thought they did a great job to create a team with how they told the story with um, it's an interesting way to tell the story. It's an interesting take for Superman, and so I think they're really using the Black Label very effectively.
Yeah, and Lex is pissed because he didn't get the meteorite that has all the kryptonite on it because he wanted to fuck with Superman on it. But I guess every issue we get to find out what each one of the kryptonites does because this one was all about the purple. Although
Yes.
we get a teaser about the cobalt at the end.
Hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun book.
Well, what have
What
you
else you
read?
got, Hassan? Oh,
Well,
all right.
we want to talk about Bug Wars a bit. Like,
We can. I read that too. I don't want to talk too much, but Bug Wars book one did finish. I fucking loved it. I want to reread the whole thing. Um, this issue is brutal.
yes, it
Like no
was.
punches are pulled like over the top with the blood and the guts, just more than you think. I'm not going to spoil, but Battleground itself is awful.
This is not
And
a
the
Disney
bugs are
book
brutal.
at all. It's not a Disney. It's not a kids book. It is mature audience. Um, his brother goes through shit. It's by Jason Aaron and Mummer. So our fantastic creative team. Best news is at the end of the issue, they're going to continue the series. They have a special coming out in 2026 called The Spy Rich is one of the characters that they introduce. And then they have the next book coming out called The Fellowship of the Fucked Up. I love that title. I love it. I love it. Um, so I think it's a great book. People should check it out. We should talk about it, the whole story at one episode, just to recap the whole thing. It's just a phenomenal
Yeah.
book. Art. It's this is why creator owned books are awesome. This is just such a great book.
Brian,
Um,
I think you were waiting until it's done, if I remember right. Well, it's done, so read that shit.
I want to read the back matter too. I never really like read all the back matter, so I want to go to your point. I want to go back and reread the whole thing.
All right. Well, besides those, I also have pulled done it down a little bit what Brian did. Every now and then I'm just like, I want to read X old book. So I did that, or I'm starting to do that. I teased y'all a couple weeks ago with a photo. I was like, I think it's gonna be time soon. Um, in the late 90s, Marvel bought a comic imprint, or yeah, mid 90s actually, and started merging their universe into it and then wiped it out. And we never hear from any of these characters or the universe ever again, which is a shame. But Marvel bought Malibu Comics, which included all the Ultraverse characters, which even had, some of them had their own cartoon. Ultraforce did. Um, there was a spin-off book called, well, there was a book called Exiles, which when you think of now, you think of the Blank led book where she's hopping alternate dimensions and stuff. Well, that's not how it originally started. Some of the Marvel characters fell over into that book. Juggernaut and Selena Blaze, Theana or whatever her name was, from X-Men, and I think one of the MLF characters as well. But also leading out of one of my favorite horrible Avengers run, Avengers the Gathering, Cersei and the Black Knight disappear. And they had a long ongoing storyline going on with Cersei going crazy. If you watch the Eternals movie, you that's where all that comes with Angelina Jolie's character kind of being crazy. She's not Cersei in the movie, but they kind of transfer this storyline onto her character. Um, and she's bonded to the Black Knight, but they fall into the Ultraverse. And for months, Marvel had been doing, or they've been leading up to this thing called Black September, and it has an Infinity Gem in the corner. So George Perez did some covers of these. Warren Ellis did one, and George did one of the crossover issues. But I started reading the Ultra Force 11, which is the prelude to Ultra Force Avengers, Avengers Ultra Force crossover. Um, the art is phenomenal. It is very tied into the Infinity Gems. You get a lot more of their history, what happens with them. These issues were hard to find way back when. It took me forever to find the Ultra Force Avengers crossover issue that Ellis and Perez did. But if y'all have never read these, pull up at least the covers because Perez just blew it away on them. But they're fun books. I don't really know the Ultra Force characters, but they're kind of goofy. They're very 90s, kind of fun. Um, but yeah, I just love the setup of this book. It's Loki and the Game Master pitting the teams against each other, kind of in a classic Marvel Marvel storyline a little bit there, but it's still fun.
Isn't that what's happening in Imperial?
A little bit, yeah. Like I said, they in contest of champions. It's not the first time. I'm gonna be catty and say I like this better
Imperial.
than Imperial.
Well, there's only been two issues. I did read Imperial 2. We're gonna have some Ultra Force characters show up in number 3.
Yeah, I doubt it. So when
I mean,
Perez and Busick did Avengers, they brought in Firestar, and they were teasing for months what the new lineup would be, and they said it would be one of the characters would be somebody that made their first appearance was outside the Marvel Universe comics. And everybody thought it was going to be Topaz from Ultra Force because it's right after Marvel had bought them. And it ended up being Firestar because her first appearance and stuff was on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So, yeah, I don't think we've really seen any of these characters
no, we
since.
haven't. Marvel bought them, and after the crossover, we don't see them at all.
Yeah, it's weird.
They really screwed up cross-gen and this.
Well, Disney bought CrossGen, Marvel didn't.
That's
Let's
fair.
just get
That's
that
fair.
straight. But
That's fair.
yes, they've done nothing with any of the properties that they have access to. It's kind of weird. They've spent that type of money. Although
Yeah.
they supposedly spent the money on Malibu for
Coloring.
their
Coloring.
coloring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, well, Hassan, you wanted to talk about something before we got to 2099.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. I would like to introduce a new segment, and you guys talked about some old comics. I thought, well, let's try to talk about some old comics once in a while. There's a lot of great stuff in this decade, and I go look for back when we go to cons. I look for back issues and whatnot.
So is the Cobra your boss? Are they associated with Cobra Kai at all?
No, that's the wrong 80s reference.
So I'm introducing a new segment called Rewind 80s. Did you guys hear that?
We did,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It threw me for a second. I was like, what the hell is that?
And thanks to Brian, I was able to read this one book that I never read. I was always curious about it, and I thought I was really thinking about it because we're talking about Marvel 2099, and I thought about this book, which takes place in 2050. It's called Hex #1. Everyone knows about Jonah Hex, but in the during the 80s, mid 80s, his book wasn't selling as well. Restaurants weren't selling. So DC being, typical publisher, like, oh, let's reinvent Hex. Let's call him, instead of Jonah Hex, let's call him Hex. And let's move to the far future to 2050. And this is in 1985. It was written by Michael Fleischer and drawn really, early in his career. Mark Texier, the famous ghostwriter artist. So I never read this until this week, and let me just say that there's a reason why this book didn't last long.
It went like 18 issues, didn't it?
Yeah, it is. So they must have just watched Mad Max, right? Because every trope that you see in Mad Max or any bad sci-fi about futuristic, like, oh, you can't survive in the future, there's the acid rain, there's anarchy, There's also crazy rich people that own stuff, but it's also some influence by Westworld. Keep in mind, Westworld was a book from the '70s. They had a movie from the '70s, so there's some robots in there. Jonah Hex wakes up in the future. There's a collector of I would call them military men, and Jonah Hex was in the military in the Civil War, and it's just like stupid like puns and like he obviously escapes the the future looks doesn't look great. I mean like it looking at it now, it looks so bad. And even the color like and we're going to talk about the in 2099, but these writers must have thought, or the writer and the artist must have, this is how cool people look in the future. This is Wonder Woman. Like everything's all dark, but somehow in the desert, and think about this, there's all this sun, you're super hot, like you're going to get burned if you don't cover yourself. She's wearing basically a bikini, and it's blue and pink. And somehow she falls for Jonah Hex immediately, of course. And he's wearing his like stupid Western outfit, not stupid, but he also wears a leather outfit throughout the whole series, and he just steals it from a guy who, oh, by the way, it happened to work. It happened to fit. It
That's a
doesn't.
very Terminator thing.
It was very Terminator. Actually, when Terminator came out around this time, I'm sure that was influenced by them too. Yeah, it was not. It's not good. I'm glad they moved Jonah Hex back to the past. Although I guess now he's in the present with Justice League Unlimited. But yeah, I read it and it exists. There's probably a reason why DC has not also put it on the app. They have a few issues on the app. For some reason, Batman crossover with this book, although I don't know if it's the future Batman or not. But yeah, Jonah Hex belongs, I think, as a Western, by the way. That's all I'm going to say. That's it.
Well, when you said Mad Max, it's like he looks like he'd fit in a Mad Max world with his face.
It definitely does. I mean, everything was like they watch Mad Max. The War Warrior came out a couple years before this. They're like, oh, let's do a War Warrior comic book. And that's what they did back then. Like they tried, like when a book wasn't doing well, they go, okay, how can we do this book so much that has nothing to do with the original concept? Well, just cancel the book. Just cancel it.
Might
So
it might hit.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, let's get to these 2099 books. Um, 1992, Marvel started a new line that they rapidly expanded. Um, like I said, some good, some bad, but it started with Spider-Man 2099. But let's set up the world a little bit. And you all tag in here as I if I might miss something. So in 2099, the world is doesn't seem to be ruled by governments anymore. It seems to be all run by mega corporations. There's a handful of them running
They got
everything
that right.
globally.
They got that part right.
I mean, we're headed that way. And if it's not run by a mega corporation, it seems to be run by the criminal underworld, um, big gangs and stuff like that. Um, I want to say there's been three or four big conglomerates mentioned, one of which has its roots in current Marvel, but not before these books happened. Marvel has pretty well showed the beginning of the main one, Alchemax now. Um, but it is a future sci-fi world. Like looks very Blade Runner to me. I don't know if you guys agree or not on that part.
I would say depends on the artist. Yes,
Um,
that's more Spider-Man 2099 looked more like Blade Runner.
it sort of seems at times, again, depending on the book you're reading, a little Judge Dredd mega cities
Yeah,
at points,
it
but
it it,
then
it seemed
desolate.
yes.
Yeah, there's desolate deserts and stuff, but people survive in it. It's not like in Judge Dredd with the cursed earth and stuff, but
I don't know.
we don't.
Ravage sort of is closer to that.
Well, that one I haven't read.
Yeah.
So, but X-Men ends up in the desert, and it doesn't seem that bad, although
And
it's a
it's
little bit.
Nevada. It's not like
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
Um, Trying to think anything else to set this place up. I will
I mean,
say
I
all
guess
the. Go ahead.
no. I was saying, did we mention the year it actually came out? Not 2099, but 1992.
Yeah, I did. It started in
Okay.
'92. Um, all the first issues are amazing chromium covers. You got a big splash of either the team or the main character, and then looking like some techno microchip looking border of either bright blue, red, yellow, whatever color goes with that character. Those covers were popping back then, y'all. Um,
They were. They were
but the
cool.
slowly rolled out. I'm trying to remember all of them. These are not all on the app, by the way. Some of the series are, some of them aren't, and it pretty well just lines up to the ones that have been put in an omnibus. You got Spider-Man, Doom, X-Men, Ravage, Ghost Rider, Hulk ends up with something, Fantastic Four, that's a small run, Punisher. Anybody I'm missing y'all can think of?
I
I
think you
guess
got the
that's
main
it.
ones.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
And then
there's
there's
new.
some
I guess.
spin-offs near the end.
Yeah. I mean, and we're not counting the new stuff that came has been
Yeah,
recently
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then as the line folds, they end up just doing an unlimited book. That's kind of an anthology book of all the continuing storylines. Um, let's kick it off with the most famous one, and the one that is come back. Listen, you're scaring the shit out of me with that stuff. Oh,
I have a soundboard app. If you guys can't tell, I was ready. I was ready for that one.
oh. Well, the first one is Spider-Man 2099, who has had a bit of a renaissance of late, but it was written by Peter David with art by Rick Leonardi. It is a classic setup issue. Peter David's building the 2099 world here because it's the first book in the line and giving us the origin of Miguel, but it does not, we don't see him actually suit up in this. And
Well, to be I mean,
right.
thankfully they give you action at the beginning.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
because it is a slow burn. Um,
If
I
you've
don't
ever
know if
wanted to
y'all,
read a comic about a guy you don't know having a breakdown in his life, this is it.
yeah. Did y'all read these on the app or did you read it? Do you have the issues?
I
I
read it on
have
the app.
it, but I read it in the app.
Yeah,
I
I got it too, and I read it on the app. I'm gonna say the transfer on these on the app is not great. Like, I don't know if they just scan the pages or what, but like the first page is, or the second page is the double page spread. You can see the crease down the middle of
Mhm.
the page.
no, yeah,
The colors are off.
yeah, they are. It looks like someone scanned it. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
Yes.
it literally looks like they took it and fed it through a feed scanner and just slapped it up here.
Oh, I think that's what they did with most of them.
Yeah,
No,
but a lot of them look a lot better than this.
I think they
And
recolored the ones digitally when they later on.
this was from they did this whenever they had some collection that came out in 2018. I don't know if that was the omnibus isn't that old. Those are more
No.
recent, I think. Um, but yeah, to Brian's point, this starts all action. It's this dude in a very creepy kind of metal Spider-Man outfit tearing through the city, getting chased by sky bikers, and we don't know why, but he's making fools of them.
And
Yeah,
Um, he,
Leonardi's art is so good here.
it
Like
is. It really is. There's some tropes in there because those gourds, of course, goes, "How does he move so fast?"
unlike Peter, he hardly says a word this entire fight.
yeah.
Yes.
We don't know nothing about this dude. We don't know why he's fighting these people. None of it. But again, we get a view of the techno sci-fi world and cityscape, which has come a long way in the hundred-ish years since this issue was written. But dude has a we get a flashback. Um, Dude's life is falling apart, as Brian says, and it's Miguel O'Hara, and he is a scientist at Alchemax, kind of arrogant and a bit of a
Very,
dick.
very, very arrogant. Typical scientist from Marvel Universe.
Um, but Alchemax is pushing him. They're doing some DNA testing and shit. Kind of, they even make an allusion to the fly out of it, but trying to splice together a bunch of DNA and end up Miguel gets forced to accelerate the program, and bring in a willing they bring in a prisoner to experiment on, pretty much. And it goes very, very, very badly. The dude is mutated, but dies pretty quickly. Um, and Miguel just feels real guilty about it, and pretty well goes and um, tries to quit,
Hmm.
but you don't quit these corporations. Um, and and given a drink by the head of the company, and he's pretty well just drugged for a very, very highly addictive drug that once you taste it, you're hooked for life. And of
Yes.
course, the only people that supply the drug are Alchemax.
He keeps calling
Um,
him Mike too, and
yeah,
it bothers me. I'm like, God, I
I
hate
know.
this guy.
Now, is this guy related to like his name is Stain, right?
Yeah.
yep,
So related to the Stain family.
yeah. We don't get very many direct ties to old Marvel. Kind of in Doom just because of the nature of it. But other than that, just mentions briefly of stuff. Um, but Miguel goes home and's having a meltdown as he's addicted to this drug, hits his girlfriend. Um, he still has access to Alchemax in the lab. So he's like, you know what? This drug gets you at a genetic level. I'm going to go fuck with my genetics.
Yeah, he's gonna reset himself to like the day before.
Yeah, just like putting yourself in a Star Trek teleporter,
Yeah.
and fixing yourself. Well, he was a dick to another scientist. And the scientist sees him, goes in there, and he's like, I'm going to put this spider DNA in you. And this is the origin of how he becomes Spider-Man 2099. Uh, the pod explodes, and he's come stumbling out naked. And when the guy confronts him, and Miguel turns around, and he's got giant fangs and claws on his fingers. And that's the end of the issue. But
He looks
y'all read
like
these?
he looks like a vampire.
I
Does
read these books, some of these books when they first came out. I read this when it first
Yeah,
came out. I didn't keep
me
with
too.
it, but
I read a couple issues. I have not read like a ton of them.
I have not read past like 5 of any of these except for Punisher.
it was still further than you got on Avengers West Coast. So,
That's true. I'm waiting for
um,
Avengers West Coast 2099.
I thought this was the
Mm,
best one of what we read tonight.
yeah,
I
it
think
is.
this was the art very consistent. The setup actually it also gave me. I know Batman Beyond is later, but it gave me Batman Beyond type vibe too. And I wonder if this influenced them. Um, but I thought this was a really great story, and I like the fact that it has nothing to do with Peter at
Yep.
this moment. So it's different. And it's not legacy. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, and this is why the character is very still popular today, which is why they keep bringing him back. And he was a big part into the Spider Verse movie. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed it.
His yeah, his costume like should not work. I don't
It
But it
worked, but it
fucking
works.
does.
but
It
it
does.
is so awesome. Like it's everybody loves it. It's like universally loved.
It is the best outfit from 2099. I'm going to say that too.
Oh, easy.
And we're going to talk about some bad outfits later, but
Yeah.
and not in a good way. Not like oh they're so bad, they're
No.
awesome. No,
The only
really,
I don't the only thing I can't handle about Spider-Man 29 is that he has old trash bags taped to the back of him.
In the webs.
Yeah. It
Yeah, they
just
don't
looks
come off great.
like I know it's like sort of an homage to early Spider-Man when he kind of had
Yeah,
those little wingies,
like
but
web
like
gliders.
it looks so weird. Like his like I love Marvel corner boxes. Spider-Man 2099 is up there, and it just looks like he has a bunch of trash hanging off the back of him.
Well, I like his powers are not the same as Peter's. Like he sticks to walls, but he's not really sticking to walls. He's digging into them, like
Yes.
those extensions that come out of his fingers and his feet. Um, I don't, I don't remember. He doesn't have any web powers, does he?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Can't can't remember either. Um, and then the next issue, I think, is where we get his outfit, where and how he designs it and all that stuff. I think it was a Halloween costume, if I remember right, but I have not reread those issues in years. I do love that Peter David got to come back to this book a couple years ago and
Yes.
do another run at it before he passed. People think highly of this one, and we got two omnibuses of it on top of that.
I
Marvel's
mean,
revisited the world a couple times with random crossover issues like Exiles, and I know X-Men traveled to the future at one point, and Magic was actually the Sorcerer Supreme in this era. Um, we find
I,
out, but
I would just say this is why Peter David was well loved as a writer. He knows how to craft a story to pull you in. It's a great first issue. Great first issue.
I mean to read some more of these at some point. Hopefully, I don't fall off. You know how that is. Get sidetracked by 50 other things.
Will I read Armor Wars or Spider-Man 2099 now? That's a
Armor
question.
Wars. Ah,
We'll
well,
see.
and this series went at least 46 issues
Yeah.
because that's how many are on the app. Um, and then you don't want to do Doom or X-Men.
Let's pick X Men.
All right. I I liked this series as a kid, although I will say I probably only got
Half
to
of an
the
issue in.
I probably only got to like issue 14, 15-ish. The quality of this series kind of goes down.
It
Um,
it's a bummer, like, because I remember this. Like, this is when X-Men was like super hot.
Top of the fucking world right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it was
And you're
after.
like,
Yeah,
oh, we got Spider-Man. He was awesome. And then you get this, and you're like, this team looks dumb as shit. Like,
Well, the team kind of tries to look like the X-Men and some of the characters, or you know,
yeah. But not
but then
literally
it's
none
not.
of them look
so
good.
so
Hellfire is like the top of the '90s right there, dude.
yeah.
And
So
Bloodhawk.
Blood. Ugh.
when I in the I had this thing when I was a kid. It's like it was like a coloring. It's not coloring. Yeah, it's coloring set play set where it gives you patterns and you mix them and then you sketch them on paper and you color. So basically, superhero and basically the only way you could make it look different is the different colors, right? That's what I felt this book is with the outfits. Like the outfits are horrendous. They just like and Ron Lim, great servicer for artists, great servicer for artists. Not
Great
a great X-Men.
dinosaurs. Yeah.
X Men, and I get what they're trying to do. Like we just talked about, Spider Man 2099 had nothing to do with Peter Parker. They were trying to not use legacy characters in this. So when I first read it when it first came out, I was like, oh, this doesn't seem like the X Men at all. And reading it later, yeah, it
The
has some
thing
interesting
is
concepts. Yeah.
now it seems more like the X-Men than it definitely did back then.
Yes,
Because we're
because
talking later, they talk about trying to make there's this spins off into a series X Nation, like
yes,
creating a mutant nation and a homeland and all that. Much more in
yes.
line with the X-Men now than there was
The story, yes, but the characters look though. Although they definitely were trying to jump on the whole Gambit being so popular. I mean, with the what's the character that they like? I mean, they're all new characters, but he's like the new member of the team. Definitely, he looked like, oh, let's do,
Skullfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, let's
Skullfire,
go
his
find
hair,
let's
he
do
had
another
that
Gambit
like
looking, yeah,
he had that 90s hair that like
Yes.
I can tell comic creators were like, this is cool guy hair. And it always bothers me. Like I can't, I look at him, I'm like, dude, you look ridiculous. It's like, remember Nomad? Like,
yes, yes,
like
yes, yes.
if you look at, yeah, that who's the big the metal dude in this?
Junk pile.
No,
And
are you talking about the Colossus looking dude or
yeah, who could
the
turn into different whatever he touches. He's got
um
long, goofy hair. Like,
well they end up mutilating him. He doesn't look like that for long.
okay, good. Deserves it.
Oh,
Uh
I,
I can't
I,
remember his name, his mutant name, but his name's Eddie. Um well,
Metalhead.
okay. Yeah, I remember Serpentina, Cerebra, which we don't even get her name here, Skullfire, which again we don't get his name here, Bloodhawk,
Timothy.
Bloodhawk, and Mean
Crystalline.
Streak
but
and Crystalline.
what about this junk pile guy though? That oh yeah, I guess that's the
He
last.
he's in it, but he's not a team member.
Okay, but he looks ridiculous too. He looks
Oh
very
yeah,
angry.
yeah.
They
He
all look
looks
ridiculous. And I,
Duckpile looks straight out of a '90s X-Men villain.
yes, and I felt like they must have read about a thing called a wave back then, and they go, "Hey, let's do a whole issue about the wave," but it's in the future. In the future, I
But
mean,
we do that now with X-Men books. We have whole issues of raves on Krakoa. I mean, not anymore,
yeah,
but they do it better.
but this looks so bad, dude. This is everything.
Oh,
Oh my god! And then they try and make a what's the guy that's like an angel wannabe?
Bloodhawk.
Blahawk. Yeah. Oh my god, that name's so stupid, dude. It's like those memes or not memes, but like, hey, combine two words to create a name.
Yep.
That's what they did in this book.
This is exactly how I created my own heroes, like drawing stuff when I was like 12. They were like, "What about Bloodhawk?" And he looks like this, and he's red. And I'm like most of the X-Men don't look super crazy at this point.
So it's written by John Francis Moore. I mean, after we kind of like make fun of the book, we should mention the writer too. But yeah,
Well, again, this one's set outside of Vegas, and it's more tried to get a grassroots mutant um, community together, I guess you could say. And they kind of have their own mutant messiah here with Zine, who ends up, I don't think he lives very long.
I
It's
think
been a
it's
while since I've read it.
Xi'an.
Xion. Well,
Yeah.
and then you've got Cerebra whose powers are to find mutants. She's actually been in some new books lately because Orlando has a fixation with 2099 and brought them into his Marauders book. And I think he's the one doing the 2099 books now. Anyway, um, yeah, there's not too much to say about this one. Um, besides, there's more Mad Max type stuff in this with Bloodhawk in Vegas. Is very reminiscent of the Vegas from Giger that y'all have talked about,
Yeah.
run
yes.
by criminal underworld, and Bloodhawk's captured, and he has to roll. They roll uh, a slot machine to get his fate. They're going to broadcast him dying, but two of the X-Men come to save him to try to get him to join the team, and he's basically like, "Fuck y'all, I'm out. I don't have anything to do with your bullshit."
I know.
Um, so it's a very dysfunctional team starting to form. Um, but the little Raves attacked, and the X-Men, in quotes, escape. Um, and that's pretty well it. Like, this run did have some cool things like the Hildebrands doing some painted issues and stuff like that. I
That's
think it's
crazy.
X-Men Oasis. Yeah. And they did some cool stuff with it, but the book itself is quality is a little
It's just
off
a
the
bum.
price.
Like none of the characters are interesting.
None, none.
Yeah. Sean is the closest to interesting, and they just kind of backseat him real fast. Like,
Yep.
But and like Clark mentioned, this is the height, or we both of you guys mentioned the height of the X Men.
yeah,
Like X Men One, what was it? It came out right before it. Like how long
probably.
ago?
Yeah.
Or was it a year earlier? Maybe.
This came out in 93,
Yes.
probably. Yeah.
91.
Okay, so two years, and so everyone loved the X Men. Everyone loved the X Men, and then yeah, obviously the Image Creatives did their own version of the X Men, um, like Wildcats, Cyberforce, um, but and Youngblood. But this one was like the worst because none of the characters were like you can't like they're not memorable.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let's do Doom 2099, which I had never read until this.
Yes,
Same.
And
I
written
never read it.
by John Francis Moore, art by Pat Broderick. I will say near the end, doesn't Warren Ellis come in for
Yes,
the back end of this book?
I heard a
Crazy.
lot of good things about his run.
Yeah. Well, this one I've never understood. Like, is this really Doom? Like all that. So I did have to look it up to get the answer. But the book starts with what appears to be Doctor Doom appearing in Latveria in 2099 and breaks up some weird sky police attacking some people. And it turns out that Latveria is one of the places ruled by the criminal underworld. And Doom does not like what the hell's going on. He's confused on where he is, but quickly gets up to speed. But Doom is a badass in normal Marvel, but a century ahead, his tech is kind of out of date, to
Yes.
say the least. What I love is when he starts to appear. What's the guy's name? Is it White Tiger or something like that?
It's like Tiger Fire,
Yeah, yeah, that's more 90s.
Wild
That's
Tiger or
Wild
something.
Tiger. That's
Yeah.
it. Um,
With a Y.
of course, a lot of whys. Well, Doom appears at the office to try to take back over Latveria. And they're like, oh shit, it's another fucking Doom bot. Get that piece of shit out of here. I was like, that was perfect. Because you know
It
what?
was.
You still ain't sure it's not a Doom bot, no matter what. Oh, um,
Tiger
and
Wild, sorry.
yeah. Well, dude, Tiger Wild kind of takes Doom apart a little bit. Um, Rips off Doom's mask, and Doom is not scarred. So then
Yeah,
you're
I was
like,
surprised they just did that so quickly.
Yes,
yeah,
but he doesn't stay unscarred too long.
Yeah.
yeah. Tiger Wild's like, haha, history says Doom's face was scarred. So if you think you are, let me complete your little act here, and fries his face. Uh, so
Let me guess. Let me guess. You looked it up. Spoilers for people who never read the book. This is the Doom before we got to know Doom.
from what I read, this is a alternate. It is Doctor Doom, but it's an alternate dimension Doctor Doom, alternate timeline Doctor
Of
Doom.
course. Because I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I mean, I guess he could have like left and been back like a second later, but
But his face is on. Like the thing
Yeah,
I
his
was.
face gets scarred when he's in college with Reed, so he's not he doesn't wear the suit until after his face is fucked up.
oh, I thought he's had it like fixed before.
He has, but then every time it's fixed, it gets smashed back real
Yeah,
quick.
so he just like he got it fixed and then went outside and was like, I'm fixed, and then accidentally went to 2099
Does
and
not
then
appear
came
so.
came back fucked up again.
Yeah, from what I read, it is Doom, but it's an alternate timeline Doom. It's all it said. So I didn't dig too much more because after I finished this, it's like, is this fucking Doom or not? Because I don't know. I think they reveal it by issue 25 or something like that. Um, well, Doom is thrown out and ends up saved by the Roma because his and he feels um kinship to them because his mother was one of them, and they start helping him. They have this magic key. They have this badge Doom's from when Doom ruled Latveria, and it's actually one of his manservants, butlers, passed it along, and it opens a secret cave that's got a pretty well a Quinjet, but it's not. And they're gonna go find some technology for Doom to level up, and they pretty well do. They go to one of the corporations, secret labs, one of the various factions, and get Doom a new suit. And this is a very, very heavy metal looking suit. And he has got spikes all over him, streamlined Doom, but yeah. And Doom is determined to take back his country and save his people, and ultimately ends up taking over the United States too, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because he only Doom only succeeds when the Fantastic Four is never around, or in
Yeah,
the
and they
future, or
show up at
alternate world.
some point, but I don't know how or
Yeah.
why or what happens because
So
their show
so
sequence was real short.
so you mentioned Doom's mother briefly. So who has the on a side note, who has more mother issues, Bruce or Doom?
Oh, Doom.
Yeah, yeah,
Doom's all wrapped up in his mother.
yeah. I again, Spider-Man 2099 was my favorite of what the three I read, but I actually like this one. I think I was intrigued by this one, especially
Yeah.
since it was the Doom that we know. Um, the outfit looks better when he has the hood on, but I actually like the red eyes. It definitely looks futuristic. Um, I might read more, especially since I heard good things about the series.
Yeah, right away you look at the cover and you're like, okay, he doesn't look dumb as hell. And then yeah, when you're like, oh, that's actually the same. This is weird. Like Pat Broderick's art is pretty cool in this. Like
Yeah, it
when
is.
he's like walking around as a Hush Nick Fury hybrid, like I thought he looked kind of cool.
I also read just real quick the Ghost Rider 2099, which is trying to cash in on the cyberpunk stuff of this era. It was written by Len Kaminsky with art by Chris Bacalo. The art on this, y'all, is gorgeous. Um, the story is a little hard to read because it's very cyberpunk, make up words, just trying to figure out what the hell's even going on in the world. But it seems like the heartland of America is just a superhighway at this point. um, and is being a one one dude's getting targeted by a rival gang, ends up uploading himself into the cyberspace while he's about to be killed. And there is a hidden uh, AI underworld of the cyberspace that takes his all of his mind that's uploaded and it's like, you know what, we need an avatar in the real world, and they put him in a Ghost Rider type fucking body that's crazy looking and just lets him loose on the world, and he's dude seeking vengeance. So it was a fun-ish book. I don't know if I need to read much more of it though.
I read Punisher 2099.
Shocker.
Um, that is written by Pat Mills and Tony Skinner, art by Tom Morgan. I think Punisher 2099's look, his cover is compelling enough that you're like, okay, I don't hate this right away. Uh, right away he's punishing super terrible criminals, and the cops are like, "Hey, this guy can't be doing this because like most of the cops are paid off and it's a corpo thing, so they just make money. And so if he kills these people, they can't arrest them, and the criminals can just like buy their way out of prison. So this guy, so they're trying to figure it out, and anytime his face shows on camera, it is blurred by a pixelated Punisher skull, so they can't figure out who it is. But they hit, so the guy, his name is Jake Gallows, and they're like, we're gonna call in this guy to help us figure out who this Punisher is. And they call in Jake Gallows. It's like, and so then they flash back to what happened. So Jake and his sister and brother and mom are at the zoo, and they're having a wonderful time. And this crazy dude out of nowhere hates that families are happy and super murders his whole family. He tries to kill Jake too, but Jake has a vest on, and the way he tries to kill him, he has a microwave gun, so he like bakes Jake's whole family in front of him with a microwave gun. And Jake's, he's like, this is pissed. He's pissed, and then they catch this guy later, and that guy works for Alchemax, and he has a black credit card, and he just swipes it and gets out of jail, and that like pushes Jake over the edge, and he becomes the Punisher. But he has found some old arsenal and files from a one Frank Castle and has taken on the mantle of the Punisher. But he had one of his weapons is a bat that can change densities, and he with spikes on it, and he's like, I never use the soft densities, and he just smashes people in the face with a spike bat all the
What a
Whoa,
tagline. I never
whoa.
use the soft
time. Yeah.
density.
Are you sure this is not the Batman?
He's just like, I'm super hard all the time.
I'm glad you said it because I was thinking.
No, Jake Gallows didn't run around with a limp bat. But I don't I don't know much about Tom Morgan, the artist. I looked him up. He hasn't done a whole lot. He's done West Coast Avengers number 38, so I got to catch up to that. He did some Captain America and some Iron Man, so
Yeah,
I'm getting close.
he's not. I remember his art. He's not. Yeah, his style is interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say.
I think the art in that book is cool though. Like it's he's very it takes a lot of Judge Dredd because I think Pat Mills is he's sort of connected to 2000 AD.
Hmm.
So he kind of brought that vibe to it. So that one felt very 2000 AD to me, plus 90s Punisher.
I will say I did read one Punisher issue. And it was the only one on the app,
Yeah.
but I read it when it came out because there was a 2099 crossover early-ish on called Follow the Hammer because the Norse gods sort of have there's a weird kind of Norse god storyline with the hammer. There's a whole religion around the hammer of Thor, which is, if I remember right, just sitting somewhere out there and nobody can pick it up type thing. I really can't remember. I could be completely wrong on that. But um all of these books except for Ghost Rider had a crossover all around that. And one of the main villains for X-Men comes out of that too. So
And none of us read Hulk, but
no.
that's a super disappointing design too.
He looks more like the Abomination, to say the
Yeah.
least. But
That's a bummer.
wow. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. These are some up and down books, but we had some fun with them anyway. So,
But at the time, I will say at the time it was super exciting.
some shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and anytime they hint at bringing it back, like they haven't done it much justice, but when they try, I still think it's an interesting nostalgia bomb.
I said Orlando's in the middle of some big run with it that he's wrapping up soon on 2099, but I haven't paid attention to it besides knowing that Wolverine is Nova 2099.
Ah, yes, yes. I did know that.
Yeah, because Marvel spoiled that before the issue came out. Um, but anyway, well, folks, Brian kind of alluded to some of the books we're covering next week. We're at least talking about Avengers, The Veracity Trap, and Cheetah and Cheshire Rob the Justice League, probably one or two other books. So join us for that. Some good stuff in there, to say the least. Um, Austin, you want to tell them all about where to find us online?
Yeah, if you like this episode, leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, please follow us on the socials. We're on all the socials: Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, X, Facebook. And if you want to leave us a note, you can also send us an email at comicsdiscourse114@gmail.com.
And it's a little early, but I'm going to throw this out there. Two slash maybe three of us will be going to Baltimore Comic Con mid-October. So if you're there and you see us on the floor, hit us up, say hi. Looking forward to that one in a couple months. Or 2 months. We're 2 months out, thereabouts.
Yeah, 2 months.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.